welcome back to the show. Paul Amadeus Lane, ABC News Radio, KMET. This is the Tech Zone. And if you missed the first segment of the show, make sure you check it out on demand, video-wise on YouTube, live stream. Just check it out. Huge shout out to our friends over there at Sony and PlayStation. Just an awesome thing they did at PSX 2017. Let's talk about games, and more games. I got a chance to demo some incredible games that's going to be out soon. Also, got a chance to walk a few of the life-size exhibits that they had. They had one for God of War and other games as well, too. Spider-Man, you name it. They had it there at PSX 2017. What you're watching right now is me demoing a game called Star Child. And Star Child is a cinematic platform adventure that follows the journey of Spectra and her companion on an important mission to an alien planet after becoming stranded. And it's a VR game. And I had just a blast demoing that game right there. First time really doing some VR gaming. I didn't know I can do it. You know, being disabled, and friends over at Sony, they are making it accessible for all. And through my journeys through PlayStation, PSX 2017, I got a chance to meet some incredible people out there, especially at our accessibility meetup that we had. Got a chance to talk to an executive director and a founder of an organization that's making sure that all can experience just the gratification of gaming.
So PSX invited us, Sony invited us to be one of the charities that are represented here at PSX. I think Sony does a really good job on diversity and thinking about diversity, and really just try to make sure that everyone is included in this great show that we're doing. So today we're selling a special edition shirt. We have a very famous heart shirt that we created, and Sony gave us permission to make some modifications to it. So we have a limited edition 350 that we're selling to raise money for our mission, which is, you know, to make games more accessible, to create controllers for people with disabilities, and to grant those controllers out to people that can't afford them.
And Mark, I know last night you and I, we talked at a little forum that we had about accessible gaming and controllers. And why does one controller work for someone with a certain disability but not others out there, for ones who don't know the struggle that ones in my community have?
Well, we don't actually look at controllers like on a disability basis. Really what we do as an organization when we're working with someone who has a physical disability who wants to game is we exploit movement. So I don't say, oh, this person has cerebral palsy, this is what they need, or oh, that person has this, they need that, because it just doesn't work that way. What we do is we assess what you have control over, what you can move, and then based on what you move, we can then try to start building around exploiting those movements.
And when it comes to doing something like that, what has been like the feedback from ones who weren't able to get the full gaming experience, so when you help them out to be able to have these kind of features, what's been the feedback?
Positive. I mean, it's great when you have someone come into our center who, you know, can't really play the way they want or really can't play at all, and then based on some of the work that we do, they now can enjoy a game that their friends are playing, that their family, their big brother, their little brother is playing. You know, I had a young gentleman come in, and he just wanted to beat his sister at Rocket League, and that's all he was like. He's like, I just want to win, and you know, he did. We created some stuff for him, and he came in a few times, and after the few times, he had a controller that allowed him to really enjoy Rocket League and beat his sister.
Wow! So you had him get one up on little sis, right? Or big sis, right?
I'm not sure if it was a big sis or a little sis, but you know, we all play games for a reason, be it, you know, connecting with our friends, connecting with our family, and you know, really that's what we're not a gaming charity. We're a persons with disability charity, and our mission isn't really to make people play games. Our mission is to break down the barriers of social isolation that oftentimes people with disabilities are struggling with, and video games are the tool that we use to do it, because video games allow you to connect with friends, family, clan mates, guild mates, random strangers. And so that's really our mission, which is social isolation, community, and acceptance. And games are the tool that we use to do it. I mean, it would be the same as if we had a canoe that we used to take, took people out. I mean, there are several other disabilities type charities that use different things to bring people together, but really ultimately we're just trying to bring people together.
And Mark, I often tell my story about how it took 8 years after post-accident to even know that I could still game. And then when I started to game after that, it was like a whole new world was opened up to me. And to have technology and different accessibility things out there, it really helped me out socially too.
Yeah, I mean, that's like I tell people all the time, very few games anymore are single player. They're all multiplayer. And when I have time between my day job and AbleGamers to actually sit down and play a game, depending on my stress level, depends on whether I want to go, play a boring game, like for me it's City Skylines, because I just like making neat, orderly streets, or Overwatch. But when I log into Overwatch, the first thing I do is look to see who else is logged on. That's the first thing I do. And if the person that I want to socialize with, or a friend that I'm looking for is on, I play Overwatch that night. Or I'll go into Guild Wars, and then because I'm looking for my social network first, the game is secondary to that.
So Mark, talk about the founding of the organization. Well, who founded it, and is the mission still staying true to the core values?
So the organization was founded, so I am a person of disabilities. I have, while I was active duty military, I broke my back and I damaged my left leg. But my disability doesn't really change the way I game. But to that social aspect, me and my friends group, we used video games to stay connected. And as I left the military and as my friends got PCS'd, got moved to different bases, we used video games to stay connected. And my best friend from the middle school was married to one of the nicest, coolest people I ever met in the military. And so we stayed connected. In 2001, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And in 2004, one Friday, we were going to log on and do what we do every Friday, which was at the time play EverQuest, and EverQuest 2, I think, at this point. And she didn't log on, so I picked up the phone and I called. And when I called, Albert answered, her husband, and Stephanie was crying. And I kind of said, like what any good friend would do, like, what's wrong, what's going on? And what had happened was multiple sclerosis had decided that night that her mousing hand wasn't going to work. And so she loved video games. She loved her character on EverQuest, and we spent that night looking for some technology that would help her, and we weren't really finding anything. There was nothing coming up that would let me get her back in the game. So after some soul searching and thinking, we decided that this was a calling, that if disabilities are affecting the way my family plays video games, that there are probably other people out there as well. And so we started AbleGamers, and fast forward 14 years, and we're going strong. To your second question, you asked, are we staying true to our mission? Well, when we first thought this idea about, our mission was just to help people with disabilities play video games. And we learned very quickly that that was a terrible mission. The mission really became that we needed to educate the game space that people with disabilities are a market worth creating features for. When we first started this, we would actually ask developers, and they would run, because making games for disabled was really scary and hard. How am I going to do that? So I would rather just flee from the question. And that was, that was tragic. So it made us think, well, wait a second, we need to talk about the size of the population, the number of people that are gaming with a disability, the market share, how much money, discretionary income people with disabilities have, and why you want to capture it. And I think where the wins came was the big, large studios ignored us for a long time, but the indies when the indie market really blossomed, you started finding them game companies coming to us because they were looking for a market differentiator. They were trying to release a game in an incredibly crowded space, and they were looking for something they can do to make their game stand up above the others, and that was, for many of them, some accessibility features. And as the movement within the indie community for making better accessibility got really some wind in its sail, the big companies started really buying the message that AbleGamers had been touting for years and years and years, which was there is in fact this market of people with disabilities who want to spend money with us. We never told a sad story. I think one of the things I'm proud of, I'm proud of it, but from an organizational standpoint, it was a terrible move if you want to raise a ton of money, is we never put, a video out of some kid who couldn't game and say like, oh, like the ASPCA or something like that. What we did was we talked about we as a market, we as an individual group of people who have money to spend on goods and services that cater to our needs. Do you want that money? And now I think the answer is, through all this hard work and through this education that AbleGamers has been doing, the answer is yes, because we're seeing major game studios coming to us, asking us to help make more and more accessible stuff.
Mark, we thank you for that, because if it wasn't for you and others out there who are leading the cause, it'll be more difficult for us to be able to experience the gaming things that we're able to experience.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It means a lot.
So if ones would like to find out more information about the charity, how can they get involved and help out? What can they do?
Oh, this is the plug part, right? Yeah.
Let's plug it up.
So follow us on Twitter at AbleGamers. You can visit our website, which is ablegamers.org. That's AbleGamers.org. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere. I think we're on Instagram, but I don't actually ever follow our Instagram, so I don't know what we put up there. I just know that my marketing guy, who's behind us over there, is like, we need to put more stuff on Instagram, and I'm like, why? But I'm just showing my age at this point. Like I'm 43. I'm like, oh no, let's not.
We appreciate it, and much success, my friend.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Huge shout out to my friends over there at the AbleGamers charity out there. Mark, amazing job what you're doing over there. Thank you so much for opening up of how the organization came to be and how others can help out to assist. And make sure you go to their website. Please go there and check them out and show your support at ablegamers.org. That's ablegamers.org. All right, when we get back, share some more of my experience from PSX 2017. May have some more video of me trying out some cool VR. We'll be right back after these messages.